Yeah.
Well, g'day, guys. Welcome back to the Couch Critics. It's been quite a while, so thanks for tuning into this episode, whether you're watching on YouTube or you might be streaming it through Spotify or one of the other streaming services. I'm Brad, joined by Samuel. How are you going, mate?
Yeah, good. Season 4. This will be our 4th season of Couch Critics.
Yeah, and your wife thought it was only going to last 3 weeks or something like that.
Outrageous. Here we
So,
are.
Grace, take that. We're here, fourth year. So let's get around. We started that in the middle of COVID. That was a great way to do something during the middle of the COVID. And now, even though we're living in separate cities now, we're still going. So, and it's awesome. We've got over 700 subs, trying to work our way towards 1,000. So
1K this season.
Yeah, we're going to get to the 4 digits. And thanks to everyone that watches or listens to the show. We really appreciate your support. And we'd love it if you're not subscribed already to hit subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, or give us a like and have a chat in the comments. We're also active on Twitter as well. We're not really active. We're not active at all on our Discord or anything like that. And I haven't posted on TikTok since I got copyright pinged for that Colombian goal at the World Cup, which is a nice little segue into what we've been up to in the off season. The A-League off season, it runs for 12 months. At least that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Samuel, what have you been up to in this very long off season? Have you had any highlights? Been to any football matches?
I thought I'd crack a beer. We're back, Couch Critics, another season. So I thought I'd crack a beer for another pod, another season. Cheers.
Nice. I'd raise my glass, but I don't have one.
Off season. The Women's World Cup obviously was that's probably the biggest thing that's happened in the off season, which was great fun. Have I been? I don't think I've made it to any of the Australia Cup games. So mainly it's just been, I'm studying at the moment, so hard at work there. Wife and kid, and another one on the way. So family life takes up lots of time. But keeping up on Twitter, watching all the A-League stuff.
Twitter? Don't you mean X?
X.
Yeah, thank you.
Will always be Twitter.
Yeah.
Just enjoying watching their fake up games on 10 Play and that kind of stuff. Yeah. How about you, Brad? What's off season been like?
Well, like you, we went to a few World Cup games together. We went to the final. We went to that for a brief moment. It was such an amazing moment. The Australia game against England, Sam Kerr scoring that banger. Unfortunately, didn't end out the way we would have hoped. But to see the Matildas go all the way to fourth, that was great. I think I went to 8 World Cup games. I think I went to about 4, 5 in the space of a week. So coming all the way from Bathurst, I remember it was on a Sunday night before I went back to work. It was Germany and Colombia, and I was at the point of, I've been to 4 games this week. I think I'm pretty over it. I don't know if I want to go. And I ended up going, and I'm glad I did, because
that was one of the games of the tournament. I was there as well.
Yeah, for me, that's the best game I think I've ever witnessed as a fan, to be amongst that crowd. And man, those Colombian guys, they were cooking. They were fantastic, a fantastic vibe. And I was sitting amongst the Colombian fans, and in the end, they scored. And I was wearing a German kit and wearing a German scarf because I could find no Colombian merch. I've actually got the Colombian kit on the way. It's been coming for about a month now.
Wow.
So thanks to Aus Kit Nerd for pointing me in the right direction to find that kit. But that was a great experience, that World Cup. And it shows that down under we can host fantastic tournaments. Hopefully, maybe one day we can bribe our way into getting a men's World Cup or another Asian Cup, whether it's the men's or the women. That would be fantastic. Probably a bit of a wait down the line. But also went to the Australia Cup game between Sydney United and Brisbane Roar. Brisbane Roar spanking last year's finalists 5-0. First time I've ever been out to a denser park, so I'm a big fan of checking out new grounds. And it's pretty old. Probably hasn't had a bit of love for some time, but it's a nice little ground that would definitely fit into any kind of potential national second division that might get up. Yeah. Whether that club should be in it, that's another question. But that's been my off season. I think 9 games already, so I'll be hoping to crack the 10th game in the opening round of the season.
Outrageous. I reckon it's worth talking about the Women's World Cup a little bit more. Obviously, you did a little bit of a preview beforehand, and
I got roasted for putting Australia in the semi. I think I put them in the finals, and the USA going out the semis. And I had all these Americans telling me, "Oh, no way, America's going to get knocked, going to lose in the semis. We're going all the way, baby." Mate, you didn't even make the quarterfinals, so suck on that, America.
Yeah, that was great to
Mm.
great to see. But just the World Cup in general. Like you said, you went to 8 matches. I went to 7. All in Sydney here. I went to that Colombia Germany game, and the atmosphere was wild. I took a Colombian friend with me, and just the joy on his face was so worth it. But there was so much to love about that, and I hope the A-League kind of uses that. I don't think they are. Obviously, I haven't seen an ad on TV for the A-League just yet. But like, you could get a $20 ticket for a great seat.
Yeah.
At the SFS, and I'm pretty sure it was the same right around. You could get a $10 ticket a couple of days before the game with a restricted view. Sometimes
Whatever that is.
you were right behind the goal. Like, to see the Sydney Football Stadium packed out with 40,000 fans for what was the first game we went to? It was
I went to France and Jamaica. I remember that was a 0-0 draw, and I don't think it wasn't a boring 0-0 draw. Jamaica had their chances to get an upset.
It was like a Wednesday night as well, and there were 39.
I think it was a Sunday night.
Yes, right.
But I went to a Tuesday, 12 o'clock kickoff, Colombia and Germany, and there was still 25,000 people there.
It was just incredible to see like Australians get around it, and so much. I've had people talk to me like for women's football. We don't speak a heap about it. We like to cover a bit of W League, the Dub A-League women's news here and there, but people were saying, "Did you watch the game last night?" And they're talking about women's football. Like, that was just incredible. But as well, like, Australia was talking about the Women's World Cup. Australia was talking about football, and the Matildas absolutely lit our country on fire. Like, that semi-final, over half of Australia watched that. And that is just mind-blowing to think the scale at which the Matildas brought our nation together. A World Cup, like, I think going into the World Cup, I thought it was going to be great, but I didn't think it was going to be that good. It was just phenomenal. There's so many moments, and after that, the final of the World Cup, you chuffed off because you had to, drive 3 hours back to Bathurst.
Yeah.
But I just stood there in the stadium. I didn't want it to finish. Like, I was a bit shell-shocked. Just what had happened in that month in Australia, watching football at that level. Yeah, it was so cool. It was. I reckon it's one of those moments that will stick with me, having a Women's World Cup here in our nation. So I think it was just awesome, and I would love to see football hit those heights regularly. Like, just the product is there. Like, we do this podcast because we love the A-League, and I think, if we could get to those levels, man, it gave us a picture of what could happen. So I think it was just an awesome tournament. Tony G, I've not been his biggest fan, and
really,
he pulled it out of the bag when he needed to, and actually the girls pulled it out. It was the Tillies. They did the job, and we're pretty proud of them. And the fact that we can almost be a little disappointed they came fourth, that there was a chance there. Sam Kerr's goal, man, I screamed so much. Yeah,
I was there.
It was just so cool.
I was right next to you. I remember it.
Brad copped it.
My ears are still ringing.
Yeah, so I mean, what a tournament. What fun. I think, one cool thing that came out of that was, here we go, a plug. Memento, if you're listening out, you should totally give us a sponsorship. But the app Memento, it's like, what's the app you use?
I use Footballogy.
Footballogy, right? Memento is a little bit like Footballogy. You can put in all your games you've gone to, but Memento is a bit prettier. It's a bit nicer. It like gives you a virtual ticket, and you can, put your own photo and stuff and rate the game. And that was just cool. And they've put their last A-League season on, and they're trying to get more data. So now I can keep track of, which stadiums I've been to, which teams I've seen, how many hours of football I've watched, much to my wife's dismay. I reckon that was just pretty cool. And now I've got these, little little tickets to remember that Women's World Cup, which was pretty fun. So,
We're
Memento,
both-
if you're listening out, sponsor us.
yeah.
We're going to be using you throughout this next A-League season.
Yeah, and add us on it because I think we're both on it. I'm
Yeah.
on Footballogy, so hit me up on that. I probably prefer that because there's way more data in it. I think Footballogy is probably more. Memento is more designed because they've got NFL and like all the American sports.
Yeah,
They're looking to get cricket into it as well. So
nice.
it's pretty good what they're doing, but probably prefer Footballogy. But enough on them. They're a sponsor. You talked about the A-League trying to grab on to the World Cup we just had, and I think the A-League women's competition is actually probably going to have a good hype amongst it because we've seen membership rates explode compared to previous seasons. I think a lot of clubs, probably half the clubs, at least the ones that have published it, they've broken membership records. And I think we're going to get a Sydney derby at the Sydney Football Stadium, the opening round. So that'll be a good test to see what kind of crowd we can get. I'd like to think we could potentially get 10,000. That'd be really good. And there's a few games that are going to be in in big stadiums, and that's going to start the week before the men. So hopefully that'll be some good hype for the women's competition. Of course, Courtney Vine, one of the heroes from the World Cup, she's still in the league. So that's really great to see. And hopefully, if fans want to flock and watch her, that's great. There's also plenty of other talent out there that'll be Matildas one day. I'm very disappointed. Well, no, it's a good thing that Claire Hunt has gone over to better pastures at PSG, one of the big clubs in the world for women's football. So good on her. Unfortunately, I won't get to see her play in the Wanderers colours in Bathurst later in the year. But, I think having watched her at the World Cup, I thought, she's done. She's going overseas and good on her. But there's still plenty of talent across the A-League and they'll be playing for the Matildas one day. And it's cheap. Like we talked about the prices for the World Cup. I'll talk about the prices for the A-League men. I can get a general admission ticket for $20 at the Wanderers, and sometimes you can get they might have a good deal on. So, compared to the other major sports in this country, the A-League ticket, I'm not going to sit here and take any slack from anyone that reckons tickets are expensive. I think tickets are good quality in the A-League. At least I speak from the Wanderers' perspective of $20. I think I went to a Macarthur game at Campbelltown. That was $20. I don't know where the talk about Macarthur have expensive tickets. Maybe they've changed now, but tickets are good value in the A-League. If you want to watch some live football, get amongst it this year.
Yeah, and I mean, for someone like you who it takes you about 3 hours to drive to a game, you can get a flexi membership, make it cheap. I've got a membership for the Cove this season, and it works out at like $13 a game for a whole season, like for 13 home games.
I've got a full season ticket membership. I won't be getting to the full season. I think it was about $120 in general admission. So that's 13 home games, including the derbies. And because I was going to get a flexi, it was going to be next to the RBB, and that was going to be $130 for like 6 games.
Cool.
And then they rang me up and said, have you thought about getting a full season ticket one in general admission, the other end? So it's the family zone, which is fine. Anyway, they never check the tickets. I've been in the RBB a few times on the same ticket, but no, I never said that. But yeah, like $130 for a full season ticket membership. Like you can pay it off week by week. Like I think people want everything to be free, and I think you can't. But it's good value. Get around it.
Yeah, no, that like the A-League is so cheap, and
memberships are the best value for money. Like if you want to watch games, become a member because that'll save you a lot of money.
Plus all the cool stuff that comes with a membership, like you get a little sticker pack. Well, maybe the Wanderers, but like CFC, you get credit to spend in a membership store, and you get to kind of choose. And like some of it's not the best quality. I've got some membership shirts that I wear to bed. I've got some cool. I got a backpack for my son last year. Like you get some cool stuff in there.
Yeah, and you get discounts on merch anyway.
The Victory, you still get it like a scarf every year.
That's good.
Sign up for a membership, like just do it. And a lot of them have the W League kind of added into that, so you can go to double headers, you can go to.
And I think some clubs are now doing separate memberships for the women. There's clearly been an interest for fans that actually want to go watch the women, which whatever gets people to the games, I don't mind. So there's plenty of options out there.
Yeah, I'm also excited to see Central Coast Mariners back in the W League. It's been a while. I'm always going to call it the dub, just by the way. I know it's the A-League Women's, but
I think the dub's fine. I think the dub's allowed. I think we'll allow that.
allowed. Kai Simon back
Yeah.
at the Mariners is really cool. They've signed some promising players from other clubs as well. You've got players like Emily Gilnick's back playing for the Victory this season, and so is Lydia Williams.
Yeah.
They're big signings. Courtney Vine's still sticking around. So you've got lots of those Matildas, the past and present, who are in the W League, but also you've got just some great up and coming players. And we've seen a huge outflux, actually, players going overseas. So Sydney FC's women's team, who won last season, beating Western United 4-0 in the grand final, just like
was it 4-1?
4-0. 4-0.
No, was it 4-0? Yeah, well.
Yeah, smashed them.
Yeah, well, grand final shouldn't have been in Sydney, so whatever.
That squad's been kind of decimated by overseas because the girls deserve it. So, a couple of to Brighton, Mackenzie Hawke, and Charlie Rule, and good things to see. So I think that competition continues to grow, and we've got future Matildas in that competition, which is really cool. Yeah.
Yep. That's really exciting. That starts on I think it's a Friday night game. It might start the 13th. If it's not the 13th, it's the 14th, which is the Saturday.
It's not that far away. 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
And the Sydney Derby will probably be the highlight. Well, I don't actually think it will be, because the Wanderers women's team isn't particularly good, especially with Claire Hunt gone now. But that game's that'll probably be the marquee game, the 7:45 game of the Sydney Football Stadium on the Saturday night. I don't know if I'll go, but that'll be a good game. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see what we're doing that weekend. I'll definitely be going to a game in the opening round, but it's great. And 12 teams, they're going to have a full 22-round season for the first time, so that's really great for the women, especially coming off the back of the World Cup.
Absolutely. Before that game is actually the Australia Cup final, though.
Oh.
Australia Cup final, Sydney FC facing off against Brisbane Roar at the SFS, 7:45, and that's on Saturday the 7th.
Yep, that's right.
Saturday the 7th of October. I'm at a wedding down in the Kangaroo Valley. So are you?
Kangaroo Valley?
Yeah, essentially.
Oh, is
Barramar way.
Barramar, yeah, but it finishes at 4:00, doesn't it?
Oh, maybe for you.
Well,
you could make it back if you want.
I'm not going to it.
Australia Cup, I guess. Well, there's been some chat on Twitter this week. I was watching, I think it's Sky Blue Stories potentially talking about this. Is the Australia Cup what it used to be, or is it just a pre-season competition? And I think it actually works well as a pre-season chat, where season's just around the corner. How do you talk about all the teams? I think looking at the Australia Cup, you kind of go, this is how the teams are lining up. You can't tell everything. Obviously, Macarthur won last year's Australia Cup, and then were just absolute trash. They did take the spoon, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Outrageous.
So if Sydney win next weekend, I'm hoping history repeats.
So that's it. You can't take it as exactly how each team's going to go, but you get a good picture of where
I think you do.
They're up to start the season, who needs to improve, who needs to bring players in. So I think, it's a good place for us to chat maybe about the A-League teams and who's looking good. Let's start with our teams because, we care about those. Start with Wanderers because I think they were looking pretty good for a while there, right?
Yeah, like you said, it's too hard to tell because it's only I think some clubs do treat it as a preseason comp, but I think they played Florida Athena the first game. They won 5-6-0, or 6-1.
Is that when Lockie Brooks scored 5 goals?
5 goals, yeah. Played one game, scored 5 goals. He's still the comp's leading goal scorer, so just got to hold out for one more game. But
Paddy Wood will get him next.
Yeah, we'll see. So that's against an MPL team with a second string side. So that was a good result. I think 5-0, 5-1 against Adelaide at Marconi. That was an impressive result, and they played fantastic. I don't know how much goes into that, considering Adelaide's off season. They've been a bit, who knows? But I was really impressed with what I saw in that match. It was a much stronger squad. Rello, I think, got a couple of goals. The new signing Antonsen got a couple of goals as well. So I was really impressed with that. I didn't watch the Brisbane game, but I think it was some poor defending in that 4-2 loss. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there are some good signs. There's some probably concern. Like I think there's some mixed results in there, and I don't know how much to go off that.
Yeah.
Going into the season, because I still think there's probably a few more signings there yet to announce. So hopefully they do that soon. But yeah, it would have been nice to have gone a bit better. But I don't know. I can't really tell. I think there's been some good results, some bad results, but
yeah,
could have done better. A bit like our season last year.
Yeah.
And in going into it, if you told me, we're going to finish fourth, that was great. But when it actually happened, probably could have done better. So I think, we probably could have done better in the Australia Cup, but I guess I was pleased with some of the results we got.
Yeah, well, like you mentioned, a couple of new signings for the Wanderers. I think Lockie Brook is a great pickup for the Wanderers. Like he's an exciting player. Obviously, Leuni left Wanderers at the end of last season and told everyone that pretty much he wanted marquee wages, and the Wanderers weren't keen to give him that much money.
I would have thrown him at it.
Yeah,
I don't think he did. I think Morgan Schneiderlin wanted marquee wages.
Yeah, okay.
And we said no.
He's another player who he was just there on loan and was keen to stick around, but that didn't end up
money.
Yeah. But Antonsen's come in. Seems like a decent striker, Swedish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that the core of the squad that was there last season is there still.
They have lost Callum Neunhoff. They've lost Terry Antonis. Lol. He barely played. He was in the team photo at the end of the year. I'm like, who invited Terry? Far out, get him out. So we lost Romain Alfantano, Yengi Mbakoto, Dharmatrora. I'm not too fussed about that. Tomislav Mersalar is actually, it's pretty sad to see him go. He's going to Uzbekistan. But
wow.
Olivia Bozanic, he was kind of fringed. But there's been a few losses. I think, though, it was great to see Borrello stay, Marcelo stay. And, picking up Antonsen. This other guy that we picked up, Jorrit Hendricks, he's played over 250 games for PSV. I think he's played one game for the Netherlands. He was at Fortuna Düsseldorf last season. He looks like he could be a really good signing.
Yeah.
Depending on how it goes. We've got this Donny Gridic from Croatia as well, Australian guy, but he's a fairly young guy. But yeah, it looks all right. Dylan Piraeus, I think, is actually a pretty handy pickup. Josh Brillante, I don't know. Like, I think on his day he's a good player, but boy, he had a stinker last year. So hopefully he has a better season.
Just Josh Brillante as well, just peak A-League. He has become a player who has now played for Sydney FC and Wanderers and Melbourne Victory.
Oh, he's played for both.
And Melbourne City.
Yeah, okay. Nice.
Like, wow, what a turnkey. Yeah. What an absolute turnkey.
Yeah. I think that depending on which Brillante shows up, I think he could be a pretty good valuable asset. But
yeah, I think he's a little bit past it. I reckon 5 seasons ago, brilliant.
Yeah. We also got Jack Clisby, and I was like, oh, you're joking. And then the performance he's put in the Australian Cup, I actually thought, he's doing okay. He's doing okay.
Pretty good. He's been pretty good.
Yeah, and he's married to a Bathurst girl, apparently. So there you go. There's a connection to Bathurst.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Right up there now.
Yeah. So that's my thoughts on it. I don't really know what to think on it all, but it's been an okay off season.
I guess Sydney FC.
No, I didn't ask. Go on.
Well, if you told us even halfway through the off season that we were going to make the final of the Australia Cup, I probably would have laughed at you, because the frustration has been didn't look like we were going to sign anyone. We're playing youth side. Like, look, we can kind of ride some wins here and there, but just beating the Mariners and really, I think we probably should have lost to the Mariners. There was a goal called off right at the start of that game that
I would say that, but
they looked at
anyway.
They looked at the replays and they're like, no idea what the refs called there. But Kaczarski pulls out right at the death, an amazing game, and yeah, I guess Sydney learnt the hard way of the last couple of seasons from success that if you don't actually give opportunities to young players, you see them walk off to other clubs. And so we've seen players like Marco Tilio leave, Neuenhoff leave, and that's been really difficult.
Mm.
To then see them excel when given the opportunity at other clubs. So then Sydney's like, well, we're not going to spend any money. Let's just play the young kids. And on one side, that's really exciting, but still, I was feeling a bit vulnerable. I thought we could be in for a real hard season, but players like Jack Goodward Reich, Jake Goodward Reich, who's been playing at centre back, has looked really solid. We've been playing Kaczarski a little bit. I was a bit sad to see Segacic go on loan to the Netherlands. That seemed like an odd move to send a player on loan to the Netherlands, but
There must be an option to buy there.
I think there is. That's disappointing because he looks really exciting for Sydney, but has never really gotten the opportunity. And this season could have been one of those. Although he's behind Mac and Lolly, who look great. Lolly's looking like he's finally got the hang of Australian football and the heat here, and he's looking dangerous coming into the season. Pat Wood's gotten his opportunity and has scored in every game so far in the Australia Cup. So he's got 4 so far, and he's looking really good. So I think there's things to be excited about for Sydney, definitely. And now the signing of 2 Brazilians, Gomez and Lacerda. Rodwell has, lasted the whole preseason, looks fit, and looks decent. Like if we can get a whole season out of him, we'd be the first club in about 10 years to get a full season out of him.
No.
Like that could be really good because he has quality. So it's kind of an odd one for Sydney because I feel like the last 2 seasons kind of have that old Sydney FC mentality of, oh, we kind of suck back in these days where we used to be the Bling FC and then we were just a bit, outdated. It's hard to tell, like you say. I don't know if we're quite there. It'd be interesting to see these new signings kind of gel in. But I'm excited. I think there's some real positives, and I would love to see these young players get their opportunities and do really well. Corey Holman's been playing in midfield. That's been exciting. Been exciting to see Pat Wood. Like, people have been hacking on Pat Wood for a while. He's still only like 21, 22, and he's really had the opportunity to show himself, and I think he's doing a great job. So I think there's exciting signs. Do I think Brisbane have been, I guess, the surprise. Ross Aloisi has done bits with them, and they've made themselves an Australia Cup. And maybe it's right to move on to Brisbane Roar. Like, just have you been surprised? Because it's caught me. I saw them sign Ross Aloisi, not really sign a whole heap of players, and I was like, Brisbane Roar are going to suck. I probably 2-3 weeks ago would have said, I reckon they're going to be bottom 2 this A-League season.
I've read a few comments online reckon that Brisbane actually going to have a really good season. And I don't know what to think. I mean, look at who they brought in. Alex Parsons, not bad. Corey Brown, Matt Acton, Joe Coletti. Florin Berengar's not bad. They picked up Timmy Cahill's kid, Shay Cahill. Picked up a few NPL players. Thomas Waddington, the youngster, he scored quite a few goals in the cup so far. He's doing really well.
Good. He looks real good.
I don't know. I don't know what to make of them. I think it's great to see him in the cup final because I like a bit of variety. It's the first time they've ever made a cup final. It's a shame they couldn't host it, but I don't know. It's a situation up there. Lang Park wasn't available, and there's no other suitable option for a stadium. But yeah, I don't like. I think it's the preseason thing. It's kind of still treated as a preseason cup.
Yeah.
At least for the A-League clubs, and I don't really know what to make of Brisbane. I don't think they'll be bad. Don't think they'll be good. I think they'll be somewhere in the crap in the middle of on the field trying to fight for it. It's hard to really tell actually from all the clubs because there hasn't been many major signings. We haven't really seen much of them play.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to get a vibe.
I just think Brisbane Roar, like Ross Aloisi, I still picture him as the assistant coach at Adelaide a couple of seasons ago,
Mm,
throwing bottles at halftime and just looking like a bit of a fool. Like he was a bit of a like the bulldog on the sideline, and
mm,
things would go bad, and rather than whoever was manager at those times, I think maybe Josip Gumbau he was under or something like that, and
yeah.
Ross Aloisi would just get up all angry and like when they announced him being signed as head coach, I was like, I don't know if I like that. I don't know if he like sure he was an okay footballer in his day, but can he really cut it as a manager? But I mean, from all the reports coming out of the club, things look pretty good. And I think something else that's pretty cool about Brisbane Roar is there was a lot of kind of issues in the hierarchy of the club. Now, I think they're still owned by the Backeries, is that correct? But
Yeah, but their new
as
CEO.
Patafta
Mm,
and Zach Anderson, that's it, Zach Anderson.
yeah, it's not the CEO I would have picked, but by all reports, he looks like he's doing a great job to engage the fans.
Well, they were doing stuff together over in Southeast Asia. They've got business degrees and stuff like that. They've
Mm,
actually got really good heads on their shoulders.
mm,
Obviously, both A-League, ex-A-League players, and Kaz Patafta is one of those early days of the A-League, just
mm,
outrageous names. Um, I think they've been just really refreshing. Even, Patafta came out after the decision to host the final at the SFS and kind of just said pretty plainly, look, things happened. Unfortunately, Suncorp's got to have its grass done so that it can be
yeah,
ready in time for the A-League. Um, but you know what we've got to do? Rather than whinging, let's petition the government. Like,
yeah,
tell the government that you're not happy. Tell them they need to fund another rectangular stadium in
mm,
Brisbane. I thought that was really smart, and
yeah,
I'm excited about that. It looks like Brisbane, with the right heads in their kind of setup, could return to what they were. And if you're a Brisbane fan, I'm sure this has been a great off-season Australia Cup run, and I think that's even though it's not a preseason tournament. I don't think it should be viewed as that.
yeah,
I'd really like to see some alignment with the rest of the A-League season, with a potential second division, all of that.
mm,
But I think it does give that opportunity. If you're a Brisbane fan, this off season and the Australia Cup run, it gives you a bit of hope. And I like that about the Australia Cup.
mm,
Macarthur last season, they won a trophy. Like
mm.
they,
That
they've
hope
got
did
that.
that
Yeah.
hope did real well for him, but
It
yeah,
didn't bring them many fans either. But yeah, for Brisbane, a proper club, I think it's really good for them. So
yeah,
um that's why we like the Australia Cup. We like seeing those kind of the rookies. We like
mm,
seeing there's been some great games outside of just the A-League games as well, which has been really good.
mm. And we've seen three teams playing the Asian competition so far: Central Coast, Macarthur, and Melbourne City.
Grab the Asia. Macarthur are the only team to grab the Asia.
Yeah,
Outrageous.
I can't believe they're carrying the weight and expectation of Australian football right now. That comment got me 50 upvotes on Reddit, so get amongst it.
Brilliant.
But yeah, I watched the Central Coast game, and it's just those games when you just have like 50 shots on FIFA and you just can't score. That was it. Any other day, they probably win 7-0.
It was outrageous. Like in the second or third minute, what's their attacking midfield? That like bicycle kick that hits the upright.
mm,
Just going, and then
yeah,
to concede from an own goal as well. Like it wasn't
yeah.
even the other team did well.
It's just one of
Outrageous.
those days, and the field sucked. I can imagine it's 85% humidity when they come over here. I'm sure the Mariners will cook them, but Macarthur, I think there was no issues there. They looked pretty comfortable. The field looked horrendous. You could see in certain angles that it really needed a mow. And Melbourne City, boy, from all
Oh,
reports, they sucked.
it was
It
so
was the second
boring.
division J League team as well.
I watched that. Look,
I didn't watch
yeah,
it,
now
so
on that, like the J League, and
J League's
maybe a
good.
little hint here. J League Two, a certain couple of Aussies playing the J League Two. One of them is Big Mitch Duke, who
Mm,
Socceroos fame.
mm,
The other is Stefan Mork, who
mm.
just on the down low here, guys. We DM'd him.
We
He's
got a
keen.
date.
He keen. So you might see Stephen Mork on here next week. Yeah, Steph, if you're listening, yeah, keep to your word.
Eventually, let's not say it next week. We don't want to jinx it. He'll be on the channel hopefully. So
yeah, that's right. But J2 is not a bad league, and Stephen Mork has come out on Twitter and said that it's actually quite a good league, and a lot of those teams are quite competitive, and that team did win the Japanese Cup, like the Emperor's Cup last year. So, like, they've earned their right to be there. I don't think they had a full strength team even for that game against City, and City were boring. Boring, like just not great football. And then they've gone out to Sydney FC in the semi-final of the Australia Cup. Just quietly, Rado Vidosic, I don't think he should not have that job. He should not have that job. Like, if you're a Melbourne City fan, I think they all know. Kisnorbo to Rado Vidosic is a massive down.
Don't worry, Kisnorbo will be sacked any moment now. He's won like 3 of his last 30 games, so I'm sure they can get him back very soon.
Not 3 of the last 30. He's won like 3 games total.
Oh, okay. Well, that's even worse. Nah, he'll be back soon. Pick him up, get him in back again.
Oh, geez.
Rado ball is not been a joy for many City fans at the moment. So
it's not a joy for A-League fans. Like, at least Melbourne City for a while there, you're like, yeah, they're a good football team. Like, they'll smash anyone. Central Coast do a job of them, and all of a sudden they look like trash.
Yeah, I don't think that 6-1 defeats sitting particularly well with them. I still think they've got some post-traumatic stress.
But they got Terry Antonis.
Like... Oh, legend! What a legend!
Yeah, my poor dad is a City fan.
He was absolutely cooking in the reserve grade last year for the Wanderers.
Oh man, yeah, terrible. But yeah, that Asian Cup game of theirs was pretty woeful. Do you know that the next round is not too far away, the Asian Cup? So
must be next week.
Next week they'll be in it again. Yeah, I think we just want to see Australian teams do well. It's difficult because of when it is in the season, but hopefully with preseason kind of under their belt, heading in towards the season, that'll give them a bit more opportunity to actually play well towards the back end of the group stage. And realistically, like, Macarthur and Mariners for sure should be making it out of their groups.
Yeah, they should.
They really should.
I still think, though, the away games are going to be quite hard.
Oh.
I think a lot of people are saying they're going to cakewalk it, and I still think they should. But the away games, like, they're going to be horrendous, like playing in places like Myanmar and the Philippines and all that kind of stuff. They're going to be difficult because the humidity, the conditions of the pitches are going to suck. And they're going to have to make sure they don't lose over there, because I'm confident they'll get the results here in Australia. Yeah,
well, and that's it. We've just got to make home games actually worth having a home game. Like, you've actually got to make it happen. So that's more of a reason, like, actually get out and watch those Asian Cup games. I know that, like, the ticket prices to those have been a bit more expensive, and it kind of sucks.
I think they're dirt cheap for the Mariners game, and
okay,
I don't know about Macarthur, but like, I mean, they've
got to be dirt cheap. Games, but not cheap.
Yeah, well, the Asian Cup, the AFC Cup games, I think they're quite cheap, and to be honest, they're going to be cheap because I don't think the interest is there. I'm not surprised. The interest has never been particularly there for Asian games, but and we're talking about 2 teams or actually 3 teams that don't pull particularly great crowds, particularly Macarthur, but hopefully they can get around it. I think Macarthur, I think they're really trying. They've been doing some things in the off season to try and engage some fans. I don't know if it's going to work, but I think they could go in for a deep cup run, and hopefully that could pull some fans in for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Just touching on those teams, obviously Melbourne City have seen a bit of a turnover. They've made some really good-looking signings, like City Football Group just has a bit of a pull. Antonis is a bit of an interesting one. Steven Ugarkovic was an interesting one for me. But then some of the internationals they brought in for this season, Patrick Sufayan,
Arslan, Tolgay Arslan.
Yeah, Tolgay Arslan.
He looks really good.
Jakalish is a I'm going to get this wrong. Is he Slovenian? Anyway,
Marin Jakalish.
Yeah,
He's Croatian.
Croatian. I'm very sorry. That's just
No, you're
put a
not.
whole heap of people off.
No, you're not.
But apparently he has the potential to have Australian passport as well, and so
Okay.
that could be interesting. He looks pretty decent. They've signed a Brazilian as well. I don't know his name, but like
Leo Natal from
they've,
Corinthians on
they've
loan.
they've made some good
They got
signs.
Arzi Bajic back as well. I think that's about it.
Hey,
Jamie
he's
Young's
great.
a pretty
Yeah,
reliable goalkeeper. Alessandro Lopano from the Wanderers. Listen, I think they've done okay.
they
They've
should be
lost quite
good.
a lot of
They should
players.
be good.
Yeah, they have lost quite a lot, but like Valen Barisha, Thomas Lair, Florian Barron is still in Australia, which is good to see. Marco Tillo, Richard Vandervey, Adam O'Neill, Tom Glover. Yeah, geez, it's quite a lot. Jordan Boss as well. I still think they'll be one of the stronger teams.
Yeah, absolutely. So like they've got good signings. They should perform absolutely.
Hmm.
Mariners, obviously losing the Cum Dog is
Yeah,
that's a
big
big
loss.
loss. That's a big loss for just the vibes of the team.
Yeah.
Losing Monty is a bigger loss, I reckon. He
Yep.
did so much for that club to
Mm.
bring them back to where they are. Just fantastic. He definitely deserved his opportunity overseas,
Mm.
but it's disappointing for Mariners fans for sure.
Yeah, and they've lost quite a lot, like you said, Jason Cummings, but Samuel Silvera to Middlesbrough, which can you imagine 2 years ago saying Samuel Silvera is getting a transfer to Middlesbrough? Good on him.
And playing pretty regularly as well for them.
Yeah. Triantis is gone as well. Benny and Kokolo, Maresh, James McGarry. He's transferred to Aberdeen. James McGarry, the half-season pickup from Newcastle. Can't believe it. But there's some they're really quality players. Like they've picked up some Latin plays in Angel Torres and Mikel Durka. Who knows what they'll be like, but Colombian players are always great to watch. And he actually, I know they butchered so many goals, but he looked pretty good on the ball in that AFC Cup game.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've got in Alo Qual as well. They've signed him on a 3-year deal. Got him on a free as well. So
that's a great signing.
Yeah. Listen, I don't know. They've lost quite a lot. And they announced a new coach, who was some guy from MK Dons who got them relegated to League 2 or something. But Montgomery rates him. He's given him his blessing. So who knows? Hopefully it'll be another good signing. But a lot of people wanted that Melbourne Knights coach to take him.
Ben Kahn.
Yeah.
Ben Kahn. I thought that looked like the best option. Good young up and coming coach. I thought it was kind of see what Melbourne Knights do. Maybe it was all completed and that it would just wait to see if they made the final or not. Obviously, he wanted to try and stay with them as long as possible. And then Mariners announced this other fella, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, it's a bit left field. And to be honest, signing an NPL manager after you've won the championship, maybe that is just that little bit too risky.
And instead, they've gone for someone who's coached in the Football League.
Yeah. And again, well, I guess, if you can put your hand up and say you follow EFL 1 closely and you know this guy and his quality, then good on you. I don't. I don't even follow the Premier League. I don't really give.
Because he's a Man United fan. The bandwagon's over, so that's why it's off.
Look, I like Ange. That's nice, but I just care about the A-League. So look, if you can tell me this guy's worth it, then good for the Mariners. I guess we'll see. But we've had English coaches come over in the past of higher pedigree. Robbie Fowler, Warren Joyce. They've not been able to hack it. Monty he played for the club. He knew Australia. This guy is coming in a bit cold. So I think it's an interesting appointment. I think it's a little just disappointing. You think the Mariners win the league, they lose the coach, they lose a lot of vibes. I think they're still an exciting prospect. They're still attacking. They've still got Brian Kaltak at back. So I think they'll still make the 6 this year, just quietly. Yeah. I think they've still got quality there, but it'll be interesting to watch. Macarthur, Valerie Germain, Frenchie,
Oh, yeah, I think it was a handy French player they picked up.
That's
Yeah.
that's a good signing. Outside of that, I'm going to be honest. I'm not really caring about Macarthur and who they're signing. They're a club that you go, they're in the league. If you're a
Yeah.
Macarthur fan and you actually are a Macarthur fan, let us know, because I don't think I know any genuine Macarthur fans who are from the Macarthur area, from the southwest of Sydney. Like,
No, Owen grew up in Campbelltown. He lives in Tamworth now, so I don't think he's actually ever been to a game in Campbelltown.
but yeah, it's yeah, they're a team. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. Yeah,
um,
good on them. Like, hopefully they improve, but yeah, they're there.
yeah,
They exist.
they
They
exist.
give professional contracts to players. That's all I can say at the moment.
Good on them, and they've got cowbells. Great.
Yeah.
Next, like, who else has been interesting in this off season? Western United just let go Privic, and that
Yeah.
last season wasn't as good as the season before, but
they've brought
still
in
lost.
Nikita Rukavica, who's been scoring quite a lot in Israel. And people say, oh, the age, and John Aloisi loves his old boys. And yeah, he does. But this is, I don't know how it would go here. But like, I feel like he's been performing where he's been a player we've been talking about of a potential sneaky little call up into the Socceroos.
Yeah.
Quietly, I actually think Western United a pretty decent team this season. They got Daniel Pena, wasn't he that guy at Newcastle that lit up the league a couple of years ago?
Yeah, that's right.
Riku Danzaki, James Donachie,
That's not a great
Matt's
signing, let's be honest.
Tom Howell Bell, Angus Day. Like, there's some decent players there. They've got a decent squad. I think they should have a good season.
Yeah.
But I actually, like, I'm trying to think through the teams, and I think it's really hard.
What's exciting about Western United is they're going to be playing out
of
of
a training ground, yeah.
that is actually in the west of Melbourne.
Yeah.
Outrageous.
Yeah, so I think
They're going to play all their games there. Like,
no, probably not, because they hold all their home games at TBC at the moment, and they're probably not going to get till about December, so they'll probably have to play those first two games elsewhere. But still, I'm a big fan that the fact that they're going to move in, they're actually doing it.
Well, photos that I haven't seen a photo for a while, but the last photo I saw was probably about a month or two ago. It looked like the grass was looking pretty decent. They had the structure pretty much done, and they were starting to put seats in. They had extra seating that looks like that it's going to look a bit like Macedonia Park from last
So it'll
season.
probably hold about 4,000 by reports, which
that's
better than
their
nothing.
level. That's if they can sell out 4,000 at their own stadium, brilliant.
And that's going to be at the training ground. They're still going to build the stadium. That's still going to be a couple of years away. But you know, they're doing it, and I think we make fun of they have no fans, and it is true. But I still think after all these years, they're still committed to building it, and they clearly have a vision. And I think once they get into that ground, I think it'll be. I don't think the crowds are going to improve much more than what they're getting, but the fact that they're going to be playing at a ground suited to their fan base, I think, is just going to be pretty nice for the league. So all the best to them. Yeah,
no, I'm just excited. I want to see them play at least 2 home games at that training facility. I want to see a Macedonia Park style 4,000 packed in there, barbecues. It's just peak A-League. And it's just exciting because they're finally getting there. We've had a pandemic in between, but eventually they'll get that stadium. It'll be nice. But Western, that's it. Perth, an interesting prospect. Alan Stajic got the teams a point at the World Cup, or did they win a match? They beat
New Zealand.
They beat New Zealand.
Yeah.
Incredible. Serena Bolden, Western Sydney Wanderers, league player. Awesome. Stadge. Everyone loves Stadge, right? I don't know.
There's probably some certain people at Football Australia that we won't name for legal reasons that don't.
Awesome to see him back at an A-League club after the last stint at the Mariners, where he was the guy who started getting the Mariners looking like they were going the right way. And so I think where they ended up last season, they've got to thank him a little bit. I think that's really good and a great pickup for Perth. The rumours are that Perth, or Tony Sage looks like he's selling the club. Has anyone?
Yeah, I don't think he owns them anymore. It's kind of
yeah,
company looking after the sale now. So there seems like there's some people interested, and genuinely interested, unlike Newcastle, because when you've got a team in Perth, a whole city to yourself, there's a lot of interest there. When there's a town of 300, 400,000 in Newcastle, where they're a bit of a basket case.
Poor Newcastle. Poor Newcastle. It's nice to see Perth somewhat steadying the ship. They've had some rough seasons.
I think COVID hurt a fair bit playing away from home for all that time.
Have they got a good football team? Remains to be seen.
Yeah. It's a team.
Kolikovsky will finally actually see some minutes on the pitch at least. That's
will he?
Well, surely.
He's
They've given
played 2
the
games.
number 7.
He's played 2 games since leaving Melbourne City.
Also, where has
actually probably not
even gone?
Who?
Ruben Zadkovic managed Perth, seemed all right, disappears.
Yeah, now Kenny Lowe. Oh no, Kenny Lowe was the interim. Now we've got Alan Sadgett. There's some decent players. Mustafa Amini's the captain, but I just don't think he has the fitness as much. Olivia Bizanic is actually there on loan from the Wanderers. Alexander Sussigna, Bruce Kamal, who's played for everyone, Jared Coluccio. Oliver Sale, hidden goals will be pretty solid. He's one of the better keepers going around.
Yeah.
It's all right, like you said. Yeah, we'll see. Okay. Newcastle, we'll talk about Newcastle before. Will they exist by the end of the season? Lord, I hope so. They really need to get an owner sorted. But I don't think they're... I don't know. I need to see who they've got.
It's disappointing, right? The Hunter Valley used to be this golden area of football talent.
I still think it is, but it's undervalued. They're not doing the right things. Yeah, there's a lot of people playing football up in Newcastle.
There's a lot of people playing. Is there anyone good playing there? Has Newcastle Jets actually made an impact on anyone who's playing there? I don't think so. Archie Goodwin is their golden boy. Apparently, reports coming out, he's not got a good attitude or something like that. So will he see much game time? Who knows? They're just a basket case, and it is disappointing to see they can't even iron their shirts for their jersey release. Creases all over it. Just get your act together. Come on. If they don't get the spoon this year, I will buy a Newcastle Jets jersey.
They'll probably give them away to you, to be honest.
It's really, it's a brand. Don't know what brand. I think it's the same brand that's just rebranded 3 times. But look, they're cool kits, and that's the coolest thing about Newcastle Jets this season is the jerseys.
Don't mind the jerseys. There's nothing really else to say about them. I think we briefly talked about Adelaide, who went from one of the best looking kind of clubs in the comp till, at least on the field, they've lost a few players. Well, Craig Goodwin, probably one of the best players in the league, and by all reports, he wanted to stay.
Not even for more money, apparently. He just wanted
an extra year, wasn't it? Yeah. And now he's cooking over in Saudi Arabia. You can't write this stuff up. He's taking the attention away from Cristiano Ronaldo, from Sadio Mane, from Henderson, and all those other gold diggers that went over there. Everyone's talking about Craig Goodwin. 3 goals in 6 games, I believe.
Beautiful. Good for him. But, Adelaide, what are you doing? Carl Veer.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Well, who knows if it's Carl Veer? It might be the board. It's just...
It's not a good move for them. And he was the poster boy. Absolute poster boy. To lose him, it's huge damage to the club. Although they did beat Victory in a behind closed doors friendly just the other day. Ryan Kiddo, just quietly, Ryan Kiddo done absolute bits last season. He has got to be one of the most underrated players in the A-League. Incredible. Very good. Good on you, Ryan Kiddo.
They've signed one player.
What's going on?
Englishman, Ryan Tunnicliffe.
Ryan Tunnicliffe. Yep. Of classic middle of the 2000s United youth team, playing with Paul Pogba. Of course, Keep Up is all up in that grill. Oh, he's played with Paul Pogba and has played for like Portsmouth since.
Yeah, he came from Portsmouth. He was at Luton Town before, who are obviously in the Premier League.
Oh,
He played quite a few for Fulham in the mid tens. I went 3 games in the Premier League. Okay, that's
3 games.
yeah.
Come on.
More than most in the A-League. But they're like
He might be a good midfielder,
he
but
looks like a fairly solid championship player. So I mean it's the only signing they got. So
he
for
just looks
me,
like Isaias with a bit more leg.
I reckon he's probably Adelaide's best signing of the off-season, to be honest.
He's the only signing.
Yeah, at the moment he's the only one. I think do we talk about Melbourne Victory? Do we want to talk about Melbourne Victory?
Do we want to talk about Daniel Arzani's hats?
Oh
Is the real
gosh.
question. What
What a
on earth is
hipster.
going on there?
Uh
Like,
don't know.
just the Victory away kit. We should do another jersey rating kit. My wife says that's the video I like. I like it when you rate jerseys. Just make it more snappy. She's probably right. Their away kit, love it. Love a bit of pink. Very good.
Is
They
it
got
pink?
the
A lot of
chevron
people
back.
talking online. Is it pink? Is it white?
It's pink.
Yeah, I
It's
think there's a little bit of pink in it.
They got the chevron back. Well done, Macron. You know how to do a basic Melbourne Victory kit. Well done. Daniel Arzani, good pickup. If he can,
Yeah,
if he can
could be.
play his football, great. Outside of that,
The Dharma Traore, massive signing.
huge. Back at Victory
Probably the
again.
player that cost us in the semi-final. Yeah, but they've got Zidane, Machash, some Frenchmen, so he might be good. Fabian Moore from IPL Leichhardt, Ryan Teague from a Portuguese club.
Ryan Teague is a great pickup actually for the Ollie
3
Rooms.
years. Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge. That hurts as a Sydney FC fan. Again, youngster went
Another
overseas.
one of yours, yeah.
Should be coming back to Sydney.
Yeah.
He's a good player. Great midfielder. He's the next Callum Neuenhoff.
I don't think they can they're not a bad team, Melbourne Victory. I don't know how much the bucket incident threw them off last year and how just demoralised the club, but
I'll never live it down.
yeah, I don't think they're a good team, but I don't think they're that bad where they were pushing another wooden spoon. I think they should be competing for the top 6.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're a certainty, but they should not be competing for the wooden spoon.
Yeah, absolutely.
With the players they've got. And I think the last thing we haven't spoken about is Wellington. And I always reckon they're going to run last every year. So who knows what to think. Actually, it's quite a small squad looking here on Wikipedia. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think 19 players in the squad.
They lost Ufuk Talay. He's gone for his big overseas opportunity, and we are yet to hear if actually getting a job. I thought he was going to take the Mariners job, but that's not happened.
He would have been a better one. Yeah.
So they got the chief in charge down there. They're promoting a lot of young players, actually, and that's exciting. They rate them highly.
And they've kept on to Oscar Zawada and Bozido Krayev, those
That's
two
great.
really good imports they had.
They enjoyed their time. That's great. Like, if you can keep players like that in the A-League, fantastic. They're great value players.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good. But look, are the Knicks going to set the world alight? No. Are they going to probably make the finals at the expense of someone like Brisbane? Yeah, probably.
They always find a way to get in. I think I've got to stop tipping them for the bottom of the ladder. So
yeah,
who knows?
Yeah.
So that's all the 12 clubs. I don't know if you've been paying attention. There's a fair bit of talk going around about the Auckland expansion team. That it's there's quite a lot of interest. In fact, the owner of Bournemouth, who also owns the Vegas Golden Knights in the National Hockey League in America and Canada. So there seems like there's quite a lot of interest. I think the World Cup probably helped that. There is quite a lot of interest for football in Auckland. I know it has failed in the past with the Football Kings and the New Zealand Knights, but I'm more of a fan of expansion into Australia. I think Auckland is one that, if they do it right, I think it can work. It's been almost 20 years since we've had close to 20 years since we've had the New Zealand Knights by the time this new Auckland team comes in. So a lot can change in 20 years.
I think it's quite interesting when the expansion kind of came around and let's do another round. Canberra were the hot thing. Canberra were like, we're ready to go. We've got it all set up. Brilliant. Since like a week after the announcement, we want a team in Canberra. Dead cold. Have not heard a thing.
Yeah, so from what I think I saw, it might have been Vince Regari or Simon Hill tweeted, is that Canberra's a bit behind. Like, it is happening. It's just a bit behind where Auckland is. And I think it's probably a bit more appetizing. Auckland, a city of 1.6 million people, compared to Canberra of 400,000. So it's a bigger market. That's probably why there's so much more interest for Auckland. I think both teams will work, and we've still got well over a year before they join the comp. But I think Canberra's a bit behind. I was surprised, but when you think about the reality of what they're going up against in Auckland, I think Auckland's a lot more appetizing. A big city.
Absolutely.
It did really well at the World Cup. Canberra didn't have any games at the World Cup. It's full of politicians. Who knows if... I think the interest is there. Maybe the money, the asking price for the expansion fee. It's clearly not deterring Auckland, but if you want to be a part of a professional comp, you're going to have to fork out some money. But is 25 mil too much for them?
But it's interesting what you say, right? You say off the back of the Women's World Cup, Auckland looks great. How many politicians put their noses right up the Matildas' butt? Oh, yeah, go the Matildas, go Australia. We love football. We're going to give you $1,000 and we're going to give you the NRL $35,000 to invest in women's sport. Like, surely, isn't that the way? We host a Women's World Cup here. The Matildas come fourth. Everyone is riding the Matildas train. All of those politicians who are loving the Matildas are in Canberra, and Canberra is the team that's a bit behind. Canberra is the team that, we're struggling for funding.
But we need Canberra needs an owner. Like, funding won't keep the club alive. They need an owner.
But absolutely, sure. It's a private competition. You need private funders. But has the government actually done anything for football? No. And
I think they have. They probably just haven't done it as much as other sports.
No, they've done stuff for women's sport, and it will all end up benefiting the AFL and the NRL. We know this already. I think it's just disappointing. I'd love to see a team in Canberra. I'd love to see politicians actually back it, but it's not going to happen. At the end of the day, they'll get a team together, but I think that's just been disappointing. That I think that should have been the team that was boom. Yeah, we're ready to go. Let's do it. Pushing the A-League. You mentioned it's supposed to be a little over a year until those expansion sides are
the start of the new season. Next season they're going to join 24-25, so about a year. Be
nice to hear some facts as well. It's supposed to be within the next couple of months. We're supposed to have some news about a second division. We're waiting. There's 11 teams or 12 teams, maybe.
There's 13, I think, that have officially said they've submitted a bid or something like that. Oh, my chair went down a bit.
I saw somebody said, just go with 10. You've got 10 teams there who can absolutely do it. You just got to start. It's that kind of thing. It's not quite right. It's not quite... Just start the thing. Just announce it.
Yeah, but they need the money. And from the rumors that are going around, a lot of the clubs don't have the money. You can't set up this comp half-baked. You need to go all in with what the money that's being recommended, or it's just not going to work. It's just going to fall apart in a couple of years. Yeah, look,
I on one level I agree, but the other level, I think no one's going to invest until it's there. Start a comp, let it go. People will get interested. People will back it. All these clubs have been saying for the last 20 years, people want to fund our club. They don't want to fund the A-League. They want to fund us. You just got to give us the opportunity. I think it has to just kind of kick off. Anyway.
Yeah, but
we probably will
talk
about this throughout the rest of the season because surely there has to be some news. The kind of cutoff dates are come and gone, and
I think over September and October they're meant to talk about the potential go over the bids, but I think it's turning into a bit of a pipe dream. But yeah, we can keep talking about it another time. We have gone quite over. I don't know how long we've been going for.
Yeah, well, we've still got some time for some questions.
Yeah, we got a few on the X app.
We've got a couple of questions on Twitter. It's Twitter. Don't call it X. No.
Elon Musk is listening. Go on.
Questions. The first one comes from Samuel Power. Champions and wooden spoons. Call it now. Who you got?
Wooden spooners, Newcastle Jets. Champions.
Not the Knicks?
No, I've had enough tipping them. And the champions? Sydney FC.
Ooh, wow. That's a big call. I think wooden spoon is, you know what? Back to back. Macarthur FC, I think.
Yeah.
And champions for this season, I think, how boring is this? I'm going to say Melbourne City. I'm going to say they're going to sack Rado, bring in a real coach. With those players, they'll win the league.
Anyway, yeah, Samuel, hope you're going well. Hopefully your boys in Adelaide can have a good season, and I don't know about Wolves in the Premier League.
Yeah. Next question comes from Joshua Biff on your mate. Which club is picking up James Troisi and why is it Brisbane?
Yeah, I saw that one. Well, you've answered it, mate, and it must be Brisbane Roar.
No way Ross Aloisi signs up. He would headbutt that guy in 30 seconds flat.
Yeah, maybe he needs a bit of a headbutt.
I think James Troisi ends up at Perth because he hasn't played for Perth yet. And he saw Bruce Kamau sign for
Has he
Perth.
played for Brisbane?
He hasn't signed for Brisbane either.
Yeah, well, anyway.
I think Perth's a good shout. They need a ball number 10, right?
An angry board fella.
This one comes from Lloyd, a good mate of ours from back in
Lloyd. Oh, how are you, mate?
Raspberry. Who is your? I missed them, and it's just two footballers. This has been doing the rounds on Twitter.
Yeah.
Look, this is maybe controversial for Sydney FC fans. The first one is Milos Dimitrovic.
Oh.
Beautiful. And the second is, look, I'm not gonna lie, Milos Nikovic. I'm still heartbroken. Just, what are you doing, mate? Play right back. I hope you get crushed this season, but I miss you. That's how sad's that?
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
What about you, mate?
Probably Shinji Ono and Tommy Uric in their prime.
Shinji Ono just retired.
Yeah, he just retired. Today. 44.
Wow. Got nothing on King Kazu, but yeah.
No, those Japanese, they bred him fit over there.
What a player. And who's the second player, sorry?
Tommy Uric.
Tommy Uric. Wow.
He's prime.
Where is Tommy Uric nowadays? Did he is he still at Victory? Who knows?
No, I think he's signed for Mounties. I don't know. Nah, jokes. I don't know if he even has a club, does he?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, he doesn't. He got released from Melbourne Victory.
Isn't that sad? This question comes from Jack at CAC. Why will Perth Glory win the league?
Because all the other 11 teams have fallen over.
It's a nice thought, mate. Stajic is good. They're not winning the league. Sorry. I don't see it. So I love that you're optimistic. Good on you, mate. You guys lost in the playoff for the Australia Cup, but
next year you might qualify for it. Outright.
The last question. Oh, we've got two questions left. So
right, okay.
This question was, where do you think Schneiderling will go? Morgan Schneiderling, who left Wanderers, wanted big dollars. Apparently, he was in talks with Western, but that has dropped.
Yeah, the 11th hour, it fell down. Bro, probably go back to France or something.
Yeah, I don't think if Wanderers weren't willing to give him what he wanted in terms of money.
Or Western, I mean, they're not short of a dollar.
Yeah, look, Western, but they've signed Pena. I reckon that's taken up a bit of their cash. Look, I don't think he's going to be in the A-League, to be honest. Really sign for a club? Yeah, probably some.
Yeah, I think he's a really good player, and I think he'd do quite well at any A-League club, but
Well, yeah, great player. He did really well for Wanderers, but yeah, I don't
No,
think any club has the money really that he's after. That's why he was on loan. But yeah, I don't
no.
think so. Yeah.
Mm.
Our last question comes from A League Book, which is I think Shane.
Shannon, yeah, it is.
Yep, another Lithgow and Bathurst lad. His question is, who's your boy for each of us? Who's your boy?
Like my favorite or something like that.
He's just who's your boy? Like Brad, your boy. Who is it?
Probably you.
Oh
That's a
no!
bit gross. No,
Oh, wow. Brad hasn't even had a beer. That's
no. Well, not that you know of. I might have had a few cheeky ones before this. My boy, I'd probably say Brendan Barella right now is my boy. I love watching him play. He's so exciting on the ball. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what kind of answer you're after there by my boy.
Yeah, that's good. I like it. For me, well, look, Paddy Wood.
What a flog.
He's copped
Sorry.
a lot of criticism, but
Have you seen his haircut? He should
yeah,
with
the
bleached hair
hedgehog,
like that. Get
Sonic the
stuffed.
Hedgehog. I love it. It's for
Says the guy
me.
who had a ratty.
He's been brilliant. I think he deserves his opportunity. I'm somewhat excited to see Fabio Gomez, but Paddy Wood's my boy. Like, come on. Oh, him or I would love to see Jaden Kaczarski. Like,
Mm.
just rip the league apart. What a lad. Yeah, but
Yeah,
probably
cool.
Paddy Wood. I like Paddy Wood. He's my
Mm.
boy. Go on, Paddy. Um, we've been chatting for a while. We don't normally do this kind of long podcast. Maybe it takes Sog having a beer and getting a bit loose. But just by the way, it's not just any kind of beer. Look at
And it's
this.
got 3 standard drinks in it.
3.6. Oh wow, the camera's terrible. 3.6 standard drinks. It
What an alco.
legitimately has hit me. We've been talking A League for a good hour or so now. And Bradley, just quietly, how excited are you for the A League? Couple of
I'm
weeks.
pretty excited. I went to bed last night pretty excited just to have this chat because I hate the long gap between off
Oh,
seasons.
hate it.
And, this weekend will be pretty, hopefully it'll be all good when I go to the NRL Grand Final on Sunday night and watch Penrith get the three-peat. And then we have the Australia Cup next weekend, which I won't be probably watching whatsoever. And then we're getting into the W League, which is, it's the start of the A League. It's really exciting. So it's been a long wait and we're almost there. So, yeah.
Buzzing.
I'm I'm
Absolutely
I'm
buzzing.
pretty keen. Let us know in the comments if you're keen. Let us know in the comments if you're not keen. Whatever. We'll take your feedback. Yeah. And you might have seen our new logo. It took me all about 5 minutes to put together in Canva. Someone did ask, have you tried to improve the Melbourne City logo? And well, I can see why you probably think that, but no, it's actually just a combination of Wanderers and Sydney FC colours.
Actually, a little shout out. Like, Run Them Memes, who is Twitter famous. He made us.
What
He
a
randomly
stirrer.
made
Love
us
him.
a league, a badge a couple of. It's about 2 years ago now because
Mm.
it's when A League rebranded to the dot slash
Yeah, sure.
and he didn't like what we came up with. And we never used what he sent us. I
Because you
saw
can't find it.
he retweeted what we have created, what you've created on Canva. But if you are a graphic designer and you think you can do better than what Brad's whipped up on
Oh,
Canva,
come on.
we would love to see it.
Yeah, sure.
If you're still listening to this chat, just yeah, this has been a longer chat. Let us know if you like these longer chats. Obviously, TNC was a bit famous for their 120-minute absolute specials.
Yeah, but they're all Melbourne vlogs, so whatever. Oh, except for the guy who used to be
pod,
on SBS.
podcast podcast is
Podcast.
it?
Was that Joey Lynch with his
Sorry,
very
Lynch.
posh Australian accent? He probably says, France, I'm going to go for the dance and then go to France and plant some plants in my garden.
We love you, Joey. We really do. We know
You
you're not
dirty
listening to
Melbourne
this.
thug.
We'll never be on that level, but just like if you are still listening to us, well done. Absolutely. And
It probably won't be that long. The
we're
next
aiming
one
for
won't
a
be.
K. We're aiming for 1K followers on YouTube by the end of this season. So that's our big aim. Maybe having Steph Mork on the podcast might help us get there. We'd love to see us get there. and you're a big part of that. And so if you're a long time listener, thank you very much.
Mm.
And if you're new, right, well done. You've lasted a good hour or so of us talking absolute shite. So good on you.
And we'll try and do these vids weekly. Won't be this long. I think it's just this long because it's been a long off season. So
absolutely.
Hopefully we'll be able to bring you something really exciting next week.
Yeah. We are very excited for the A-League season. Bring it on. Oh, Australian football, it's so good. Like, as if you'd watch the Premier League when you have this absolute dumpster fire.
You can watch both. It's allowed. You can watch both.
Don't watch both.
You can't watch the NPL though.
Don't waste your time. Just watch the A-League. It's so good. Oh, love it. That's probably a great place to finish.
Yeah, let's finish. You're quite drunk. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah,
or you can listen to us next week.